Hey gang, Ronan here. Welcome on back to the Retrocade and welcome to another edition of Sports Saturday. And for this week, because we hadn't played a sports game from the SNK Neo Geo for a while, I decided that we're going to go back to 1992 and we're going to play one of the games that is still my favorite to fire up and play to this day. We're going to play Baseball Stars 2. This game was created by SNK in coordination with Pixel and then later companies like M2 and .emu, because it's a game that has been released on multiple consoles since its debut on the Neo Geo 31 years ago. And what we're going to do over the course of the next half hour is we're just going to try and get through a standard 9-inning game. And I'm going to pump a ton of quarters in here, one, because I can, and why not? Now, there are a certain amount of teams you can choose from. You have 6 teams you can choose from initially. I'm going to go with New York for no particular reason, because these are all fictional teams with fictional players. But I'm going to pause it right here, because I want to at least, before we really get into it, because it's a fast-paced game, which is another reason why I like it. Here's why this is still one of my favorite games to play from the early 90s. The presentation of it, and it's something I talk about a lot, I know, with sports games in particular, but the way you're going to get a gamer to want to pop down money to play a sports game is you got to make it something that's going to be engaging with them. And what SNK, I feel, got really, really right with a game like Baseball Stars 2, which obviously means there's a Baseball Stars 1, is the presentation of it. And I love the cartoonish aspect of it. If you look at the profile shots in the upper right and left corners for the pitcher and the hitter, they've got that cartoonish flair to them. Same with how you see them on the field. They've got oversized feet. You can see the oversized arms with the musculature. And they didn't have to go this way, SNK, when they put it together, but because they knew if the whole goal is to get kids to sit in front of the arcade cabinets and drop quarters into it, you're going to want something that's got the visual appeal as well as the gameplay appeal that will keep them popping these in. Because the other thing you have to keep in mind is under the pitcher, Joey, you see that timer, it currently says 3:27 on it. That's how long we have to play this game before I got to pop in another quarter. So if you're going to play a 9-inning game, that could run you a couple of bucks to do. Or you could just play it for as long as one quarter goes, then go play something else. So that, I think, is really part of the brilliance of this game. Now, it's not a hard game to play. When you're at bat, you can move your batter around in the batter's box. A is the swing. B is the bunt. But you got to get the timing right, because the pitches come in pretty hot, and it's hard to gauge where they're going to go once they leave the pitcher's hand. Like that one, he threw a changeup, it hit the dirt, and I swung right over it, and I snapped my bat in frustration. And because this game didn't take itself so seriously, when I had the chance to start playing emulated games, and again, I'm playing this on WinKWax 1.65, it was one that immediately got me hooked. And as granted, I grew up quite the baseball fan. But even in my later years, I'm not as much of a fan of baseball as I used to be. And I'm very much not so when it comes to playing video games, primarily because they're just too long. Whereas I could pop this on and play a game in about a half an hour if I want to. Now, when you're the pitcher, you can move around on the mound as long as your feet are touching the rubber. And then it's, if you want to throw a breaking pitch, you push the button to the left or the right after you let it go. If you want to throw a changeup, you hold the button up. And then the computer will handle all the fielding. So it also doesn't require too much grunt work on your part, unless you want to. You can set it up from the beginning where you have a bit more control, but I prefer to just do it this way. Now, if I have a gripe about it, it's that the soundtrack does tend to get a little overbearing after a bit, and you can't turn it off. So that is a bit of a problem. But that's really my only major quirk of the game. Fly ball on the infield, and this... Whoop. That can happen sometimes as well, where you think you've got it and you don't. So we go to the top of the second. Nice catch. And innings can go by really quick in this game. Fly ball right center, but that'll be caught. And now I will have to pop in a credit here. And when you put in a quarter, you get a slight power up for every time you renew the game. Does it help you in the long run? Not necessarily. Because right there was 3 up and 3 down. But by comparison to the previous baseball game I played here on the series, which was Bases Loaded 1 for the NES, I mean, for the time being 1988, Halico got more right than wrong on that one as well. But for a console that very few people in the US especially got a chance to play on, and really had to rely on arcade cabinets to have any idea of what the Neo Geo offered, this was, to me, like a real hidden gem. And as much as I like games like King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown and stuff like that, in that respect, this is a lot like when we played Aussie Rules Football a couple weeks back, where you get to see something that seems very much American from a different perspective. Oh, that ball is crushed. Track, wall, gone. And we are on the board. Lead-off home run. Foul that ball off. Now, if you're not familiar with Japanese baseball, obviously it is a version of the formerly national pastime of American baseball. And prior to World War II, Major League Baseball did try to expand the influence of the game around the world. It, for the most part, failed spectacularly, but it caught on really, really big in Japan. And then during and after World War II, Japan didn't play baseball until the war in the Pacific was over and the American occupation began, and the U.S. government encouraged the Japanese to start playing basketball again under the political concept that would, quote, foster democracy, end quote. Be that as it may, now 80 years later, Japanese baseball is as strong as it's ever been. You had greats in the 70s like Sadahara Oh, who did not come over and play baseball in the U.S., but then in the 90s and in the early 2000s, you had players like Hideo Nomo, you had Hideki Arabu, and especially in the Pacific Northwest, where I spent a lot of time, the big thing was when Ichiro Suzuki came over and played for the Mariners for nearly 20 years. And I had the good fortune, being a Red Sox fan, to go to Seattle a couple of times and see Ichiro play In fact, one of the first games I saw him in was when the Japanese phenom pitcher Daisuke Matsuzaka had been signed by my Boston Red Sox. And it was the first time that he and Ichiro had squared off in the major leagues. And I have photos of it still to this day. And if you never got a chance to see Ichiro play in person, he was a genuine cultural phenomenon. There's no other way to describe it. Given the strength of the Asian contingency in the Pacific Northwest, and not just Seattle, but you got to talk Portland, you have to talk San Francisco, I mean, all the way down the western seaboard. It was a colossal deal that a player of his ability was finally coming over and playing in the major leagues. And since then, I mean, Japanese baseball still every once in a while, and we're seeing that right now, most obviously with Shohei Ohtani, who plays for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. For how much longer, I have no idea. But every once in a while, you will still be able to find great Japanese and Asian players who will come over and break into the major leagues for a couple of years. So we get the throw, so we get one runner out. But we have a runner now on second with one out. Now your pitchers can get gassed over the course of a game. Oh, why I threw that to third, I don't know. I was trying to go to second to pick off the runner. And this is another part of the game that you have to bear in mind, is that you can do power-ups for your batters. And I gotta get out here. I'm painting the corner, it's just not enough. Fly ball, center field, that should be caught. And better yet, it was just on the outside of the infield, so nobody could advance. And as long as this is caught, it's not, and we are all square at one. And I've only got 10 seconds left in this quarter. Fly ball. This should be... Oh, it's going to drop in again. They're putting Texas leaguers out there just where my guys can't get to them. There we go. But the damage is done, as now we trail 2-1. Fly ball center field. Park's gonna hold it. Now, this game does have two different leagues. You have the beginner league, which is what this one is, which is called the exciting league. And then you have the fighting league, which is like an expert league. And there's 18 teams total that you can play across both sides. And then this game was ported to the NES in 1989. Or correction, it was ported in 93. They made changes from the original 89 version. But it appeared on... Oh, as I swung and missed. It was on the NES. It was on the PS2. It was on the Windows has a copy of it. It even showed up on Linux. That's how spread out this game's history was. Oh, I hit that in the foul territory and had a chance to at least tie it up. So now they're going to bring in a pinch hitter. And if you look at my pitcher, Hacker, he is huffing there, which means he is gassed. And I got to get him out of there. And I've only got 3 pitchers I can choose from. So I'll bring in Boris. And he's a sidearm thrower. Oh, and they said he beat the throw. And that's another thing I like. Bang bang plays can happen. And you're never quite sure. Well, let's see. We are bottom of the 5th, and we're about 17 minutes into this game. Oh, and he beat the throw to third. You know, that should have been a force out. So the sack's packed. Nobody out. Desperately need a double play ball here. The run comes home, so it's 3-1, but more importantly, we got 2 out. We needed that. Paint the corner on that one. Fly ball, left field, should be caught. So now we trail 3-1 going to the 6th. And they're going to bring in a new pitcher. There's the pitch. 101 miles an hour. There's the pitch. Then he comes back with a change of 55. That's filthy. Fly ball, left center field to the track. Nope, that will be caught. And he dropped that sinker that just skipped the plate. And you have to keep in mind where the pitcher's position is as opposed to where you are. That one's going the opposite way, and that one's well struck, and that one's going to go all the way on the wall. Now, if you hit the B button, that will allow you to advance the runner. So I was able to stretch that single into a double, and now we definitely need a long ball. Oh, and he curved that one right over the plate. Struck me out. That was not helpful. Center field. Well hit, but at the wall, he caught it for the out. So bottom of the 6th. We're running out of innings here. Go to first in time. But in much the same way that I find... Oh, man, I can't believe I did that. You got him in a pickle. Oh, but he beat it back to first. I couldn't have my guy run off the bag to try and tag him. But we got 2 outs. But as I was saying, in much the same way that Mutant League Hockey gives you a cartoonish tint on that game, or on that sport being hockey, this does much the same thing for me for baseball. And in that way, it makes it just as much fun. Because as much as we rail on sports games, especially nowadays, for not having enough immersion, like one of the big issues, oh, that is crushed, if it's fair, it's gone, but it's not. One of the knocks on Madden football is that there's not enough of it anymore, because it's all focused on Madden Online. So the casual player who just wants to be able to, you know, put a league together and play on their time are left out, which is, again, one of the things we were talking about last week with NCAA Football 07, again by EA Sports, because that was really the last time that it felt like they got it right. Oh, and that hugged the line. And that went all the way to the corner. He'll make the turn, go to third, and we are safe. Now we got runners on the corners with 1 out. Foul that one straight back. Well, 2 can play at this game. And yet I struck out. And we could not bring a run home. So stretch time. They're going to bring in another pinch hitter. Mac, 38 home runs. But he only hits $150. Which means he either crushes it or he strikes out. One of the two. Go to first in plenty of time, and he's out. So back to the top of the order. Now Boris is getting winded. But if I can get out of the inning, then I can bring in a relief pitcher for the 8th. Pop fly, that is caught for the out. So we're not out of it yet, but we got to put some runs on the board in a hurry. And they're going to bring in another relief pitcher. And I better start using these power-ups while I can. That 116-mile-an-hour fastball, a little hard to catch up with. We got lucky on that one. And we struck out. All right, might as well see. We'll bring in Jekyll. 342 hitter. Throw to first in time. So 2 down. Damien, put the dog down, Damien. Let's power him up. Now, there's supposedly a finite amount of power-ups that you get in each game. I've never reached the point where I've run out of them. Oh, and he gets hit by the pitch, and he's going to go out, and we're going to have a ruckus. And he gets it with the left to the face and the right to the jaw. And they got to replace with their last one. And he got that pitch up before I had a chance to a power up. Here we go. Ah! And he struck me out because he got the fastball by me. So the bottom of the 8th we go. And I gotta swap out my... relief pitcher, and we got one away. Now we get by Chaz. It'll be up to us for the last chance in the top of the 9th. And he's got it. All right, Red. Throw to first in time. So the top of the 9th we go, and we got about 4 minutes left in this episode. And we got a minute to go on this quarter. I'm going to go for broke and power up everybody. Rip that ball in the corner, but foul. That ball is tagged, but he got enough to get out. It's gone! Now, hopefully we won't go to extra innings. It's the only thing I'm hoping for. And he struck me out. All right. That ball was crushed, but well foul. And he comes back with a changeup, which just they're so hard to gauge. Well hit, could be gone. We are tied. So we're even up at 3. See if we can do this one more time here. That ball's well hit, but it's well foul. Oh, and I was way out ahead of that one. And struck out. Alright, so we're going to replace the hitter, or the pitcher rather, with a pinch hitter. And we got to power him up. Oh, we're just ahead of it. And he struck us out. So bringing our closer, Hannibal. He's a submarine southpaw. That shouldn't be an easy pitch to hit. And that one will be caught. Fly ball center field. It will get down for a base hit. Now will we go with a pinch hitter on this one? Nope. I wonder if they got anybody left. The only problem is we don't have any pitchers left either. So we are going to extra innings. But if we had ended the game now, we would have done so just under a half an hour. So hopefully this one won't run too long. Although when we did bases loaded. That one ran extra innings. If I remember right, that episode also ran us about 45 minutes. Oh, come on. Come back in and throw something over the heart of the plate. That one's well hit. But it's caught. And he hits me again. And they're going to run out and going to have another ruckus. And Miller gets roughed up again. And because we have no more pitchers available, they got to make good with him. Seriously? You put it right over the corner like that. And they're going to turn... Nope, they didn't need to turn 2. So the bottom of the 10th we go. I had 3 guys sitting there, and none of them could come up with that ball. Which you'd think doesn't happen. It happens more commonly than you may believe. We get third. Out! Got him! So we turn 2. Boy, do we need that. So to the top of the 11th we go. That ball is hammered, and it is gone. They didn't even show the graphic of the ball traveling towards the fence. It was just completely hammered. And that will get down for a base hit. So now we can put some insurance runs on the board. All the better. And Cyclops has 2 home runs already in this ball game. And he gets hit by the pitch. And now he's going to go up and get roughed up some more. So you got runners on first and second. Nobody out. See if I can bust out the wiffle bat here. Except he popped it straight up. And we're going to get a triple play here. Holy cow, they hit a triple play because my guys ran anyway. Well, that's a first. But now we just got to get 3 outs. And this ball game is over. Oh, and right by him. Cannot believe that. Alright, now we can turn 2 here. 1, 2! So we'll drop 1 more quarter in really quick. And hopefully take out Zia. And this will be the ball game. He's only a 250 hitter with 5 home runs. This should be caught. And that is the ball game. And that, everybody, is Baseball Stars 2 from 1992 for the SNK Neo Geo. And like I said, is it a great game? I mean, personally, it's one of my favorite ones for the entire console. And taking into account, again, the big elements that go into a good sports game. Presentation, playability, and engagement. I would say that this ticks a lot more boxes than most. And since I'm playing this on a free emulator, if you want to try it out, by all means, go ahead and try it out. It's not hard to find. And once you set it up and be able to play it, then, you know, it's pretty straightforward. So if you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have, best way you can show it is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. Remember, we do have Suckerpunch Sunday coming up tomorrow, where we will play a classic fighting or fighting platform-based game from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation. You can also follow us on Instagram at Ronan's Retrocade and help spread the word about us so we can get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible. The faster we do so, the faster we unlock the YouTube customization algorithm, and we can make this channel bigger and better. I hope you guys enjoyed our playthrough of Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. We wrapped that up last week. I am currently narrowing down the finalists for our next playthrough, and I'm hoping to get that started not this week, but likely the week after. So keep an eye and an ear out for that. And as always, if there's a game you would like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, SNK, Neo Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below or drop me a line on Instagram. It can be any game from those consoles that you want. And as always, my name is Ronan. It's been great to spend this Sports Saturday with you. Be safe, be well. Happy Father's Day to all the gamer dads out there tomorrow. And we will talk to you then for Sucker Punch Sunday. Bye.